Rise of Kingdoms just released a new update that is not really that favorable for majority of the community. We want to go through this real quick in here, and I'm going to give you my opinion about what this update is going to be and how I feel about this. First of all, since majority of you guys probably have seen this already, for those who have seen this already, this update, I want to know, what do you guys think? How do you feel about this update? In what direction is Rise of Kingdoms trending into? Resource acquisition in the game has always been a matter of great concern. Actually, we've been playing this game for 3 years now. Seems like it's not really a big issue. Why today? I don't know. Now, recently, we've observed the amount of resources available through resource collection could no longer meet the development and combat needs of the governors. Partly, that is true. Now, seems like in here it says that they have done some repeated tests. We've decided to upgrade the resource points in the game. When I first saw this, update, I was like, oh, maybe it's something that they're going into like that will benefit us a lot in here. Okay, so now when I read it, it says increase the resource storage capacity of resource points of all level, which is actually a good one. Increase basic collection speed of all troops, so training these troops will be better. Okay, yes, that's great. Then they said, but, let me take away every good stuff that I have just told you. Through the above two adjustments, they said, governors can get more resources through gathering. At the same time, let me take out the cookie out of you. We're also concerned that this adjustment may lead to increased in-gap of resource possession between governors. In order to shorten such gap, we will make the following adjustment at the same time. So honestly, I don't know if anybody has said this yet. Honestly, I don't think this update, in my opinion, without bashing nobody, I don't think this update in here, what they say in here, is really correlated to what they're trying to do here. I think there's some hidden agendas with between this statement to this. Okay. Honestly, I support the game 100%, of course. One of the things that I want to say is that this game is so unique. One of the reasons why we're playing this game is because there's no other game like Rise of Kingdoms. How the battle mechanics is, how the movement of the freedom of movement in the open space, right? The civilizations, even though we don't have the Philippines, because would they ever put Philippines? I don't know. I wish they would put Philippines as a civilization. I know a lot of my kababayans would definitely love to see it. Philippines is not one of the biggest consumers of the game as well, and maybe I'm sure you guys want your country as well to be part of the game. Wouldn't anybody want? So that would be an amazing thing, right? For me, I'm from the Philippines, so definitely have that connection there. So they could definitely release like something with Indonesia, another biggest community in Rise of Kingdoms in here. Like I said, I don't really think the agenda is really about this, about us getting more resources. I think there's some hidden agenda in here that maybe you guys can tell me what it is. Maybe I'm a little bit dumb and I don't know what it is. Maybe you can tell us here in the comment section below, so everybody will be able to know. Now they've said here, set the maximum amount of resource assistance each governor can receive per day. This is per day. How much? How are you defining how much resources we're going to get per day? We have been playing this game for 3 years, and now it's coming to change into this. Something quite interesting must have happened prior to this situations or events that is going on. Set the maximum amount of resources that each governor can obtain through looting each day. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, again, we've been playing this game for 3 years now. We've loved the game. We've loved the development. there's always, well, there's some updates that, of course, there were some fan favorites. Some people like it, some people did not. I think when I was reading in the comments of the bulletin board, there was a great consensus of people not liking this update at all. Now, the question is, would Rise of Kingdoms actually like listen to the player base, especially to the consumers, the consumers of the game? Would they actually listen to the comments, or will they just keep pushing through as they want it to be? I'm not so sure what direction Rise of Kingdoms will really take. It says here, we will ensure that the resource gathering in the game will have a positive impact through these adjustments so that the governors can develop their cities, experiencing unhindered battles. I feel like this is going to hinder battles more. All the adjustment in this announcement will go live in the coming month. Oh, so they did mention that it's coming live in the coming month. We hope you will continue to pay attention to the content of subsequent announcement, as the official changes will also be available again in the future announcement. Thank you for supporting Rise of Kingdoms. We hope you enjoyed the game. By the way, I'm reading this through ROK.guide. Been working with ROK.guide since the beginning of time. Well, not really the beginning of time. Beginning of Rise of Kingdoms time. So ROK.guide is one of those websites that can be really trusted in here to get your amazing information. Now, let's go into the ROK notice board in here. All right. So this is pretty much what they have laid out in here. There's 206 likes. So let me compare this with other official announcement that they have released. Oh, actually, not really getting that much like it. I was gonna say that some of them. Okay, so look at this, 645. Not bad, right? Not bad. 100. I mean, I wonder what would it look like if there was a dislike in here. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this update. And as a content creator in here, whether when I was in 228, 1382, here now in 1412, we've always helped each other out with resources. Like in 228 alone, people have helped me with resources there as well. Tremendous help, able to continue fighting. We would have banks. This is going to limit the ability of every single player to continue to fight, especially for those players who have farm accounts. So when you have a farm account, this is probably the best time for you to bank everything and get your resources in now before the update goes live. I particularly do not like this. I don't know what to say. I just don't like this update, and I don't know what else can I do anyway, and how much can I say to make some changes, really. I'm already voicing out in this particular moment that this update is not something favorable for many, many, many players. So there's a lot of you guys got to go and read the comments in here, because it's absolutely amazing how people are so consensus and they're just having the same feeling and same idea. So one thing that I expect from this update, if they're doing this, I better not see the freaking, this thing, whatever it is, the verification. I better not see that anymore. If they're going to do that update, better not see that verification reward anymore. And yeah, I highly don't agree with whatever they're doing in here with this update. It's really not good. Like I said, I have benefited on resource help. I've benefited on help and resources as a fighter in the kingdom. I think one time, even when Puddle Cakes raided and looted somebody in one of our KVKs, and he shared some of the gold to us. I'm just saying is man, this is bogus. So one thing that I want to say about this is that Lilith is not also saying that, hey, you cannot get resources at all. It's saying that, hey, in one day, you have a capacity. So what you can do then is that you can stagger whatever you're moving with resources and stagger it, throughout. It's going to be very tedious, but at the same time, it's probably not the end of the day. The one thing that takes me out is the next topic in here, which is not about the resources assistance that you're going to get. Now, before I eat my words, if they do set it up to where you can, we don't know what the maximum number, they didn't say. Let's say it's 2 billion resources per day, or 10 billion resources per day. Maybe I'm just trying to pick a number here. Maybe that's okay. But what if they just limit you for okay, you only get 100 million resources a day, or you get only 200 million resources a day? And I don't know what's the right number. Let us know in the comment section below. What is the right number? Because I don't even know. Each player fights differently, or each player needs the resources differently. What is the limitation? Why is the game setting some control too much? So Cobra in here have said, why this update for anyway? You are killing the fun of the game to increase only your money. I'm just reading this, okay? I have no opinion on that. Of course, this is a game. There is a business. They want to develop. They want to make more money. I understand that. But at the same time, it seems like it's going to kill a lot of the fun amongst many, many players, especially those who spends money into the game. Those who spends money into the game, they are the one who is funding the fun for majority of the players in this game. Without the whales spending money into the game, the development of the game would be very, very slow. So that's one thing that we need to understand. I respect the spenders in this game because without them, this game would not even survive at all. Every update, game getting worse. Lilith only want money. Again, I'm just reading this. Admiral Hunter giving. Okay, he is giving. Wait, what is this? 1, 2, 3. Like, dude, this is like 4 fingers. That doesn't work. Yeah, what is that? Like, it doesn't work. You must be crazy. Everyone will quit the game with this update. Why are you doing this adjustment instead of lowering healing or training costs? Exactly. So if you lower them, we won't need to farm accounts. We won't need farm accounts or assistance this much. You're right. You're always trying to find a way to make us spend. Not surprised. Keep living your dreams, Lilith. All you do is killing this game. Fun is about to be over. Keep going, lame. All right. This is from Fierce. Is that a Avatar? Avatar Airbender type of thing? This is by far the worst idea you guys have had. This will hurt the game and push many F2P and paying players to stop playing. Exactly. This will hurt free-to-play because a lot of the free-to-plays have a lot of farm accounts. When these free-to-plays does not, unable to fund their account to keep continuing playing. Like, imagine if let me ask you right now, you're watching, how many farm accounts do you have? And how many times have you been funding your account to continue your war? And maybe a lot of complaints came from these, maybe it has to be new players, maybe some of the new players, not everybody. I'm just saying there has to be some complaints that came to Rise of Kingdoms and said, hey, you know what, I can't sustain this. But like, come on, man, there's a lot of players who have been playing this game for a very long time and they're able to sustain. We've been playing this for 3 freaking years now, and there's no complaints like this. I think Rise of Kingdoms need to learn how to balance of who they take their opinions from, and understand that there's so many players that are so passionate about this game. The reason why people are speaking out in here, and you know what, the development team of Rise of Kingdoms should never take this on offense, because they should really accept the value of players spending time voicing out in this chat room, telling them what they feel, because they only say these things because of the love for the game. And one of the reasons why we're making content for this is because of the love for the game. Rise of Kingdoms have done so much for me, and I have nothing against them. But with this update, it will kill so many players. For me, as a YouTuber, war. We need war contents. When you do this, it's going to lessen the war contents. Maybe some kingdoms will not even fight. Infinity Kingdom. You know what? Honestly, that looks like Lord's Mobile to me. Doesn't look. I mean, you can go there. It's not really that great for me, in my opinion. I did not find it amusing at all. But ROK, like again, ROK is a very, very unique game that everybody loves. All I wish is for the development team of Rise of Kingdoms to listen to the players in here. Don't listen to me, because I just make videos, but listen to the players, the voices in here, the chats in here. This is the people who cares about the game. This is the people who funds your game. This is the people that spend so much time improving, getting better, fighting, reading the comments in here. Maybe would it make a difference, or did Rise of Kingdoms set their mind already of these changes? Can their mind be swayed? I don't know, right? So if you're going to make less easy to obtain, at least reduce the price of fighting. Yes, reduce the healing cost. Man, reduce the training cost. Reduce the healing cost, reduce the training cost of troops, and you're saying you're also reducing the speed, the training of the troops, like the time. Might as well reduce everything. This would help everybody then. All right? They didn't even say what is the limitation of the assistance that you can get. And plus, you can't even raid, like you can't even loot everything in the city now. Like literally, they said it here. Set the maximum amount of resources that each governor can obtain through looting each day. Now, this could be taken in a different context. At first, I read this and I'm like, is it maximum looting that you can obtain from the governor? It's not really protecting the governor, okay? So that's the first thing that I understand. But reading this again, it said set the maximum amount of resource each governor can obtain throughout looting each day. So let's say there's 100 governors and they're attacking one city, and then they loot that one city. They can still get every resources from that governor that they're looting. So this is not like protecting basically a single governor, but I see where the point where, like, if there's not enough, like if the governor has like billions of resources, you need so many players really to loot the guy. So the realistic part of the game is not there. One of the reasons why we love Rise of Kingdoms, again, is that its uniqueness, right? The ability to kind of interact with the reality of the game, right? So being able to loot everything, just like when you're going to war and in real life, you're going to battle in the medieval times, maybe, where you can loot everything that you want. So why change this in this way? Right? If you want to protect the governor, then maybe you can increase the storage capacity of the storage center. Maybe that's a better approach rather than capping everybody, rather than punishing the people who are in the offensive side. Like, if somebody made a mistake, they have billions of resources, then it's gone. Part of the game. We've always dealt with this like this. So I don't know why we're going into this direction at all. I don't know. Who thought this is a great idea? Literally, farms are very important to grow. Exactly. War banks are very important for those who needs it. Yeah, especially for the free-to-play. This will affect everything. I pray to God the cap will be ridiculous amount. If not, you're not getting a dime from me again. I'm not going to say that last part, but so the most idiotic change I've ever seen so far, and it started in hurtful for all, especially for free-to-play. Amid this, how is limiting assistance and looting beneficial to players? Exactly. It hinders fighters, and if you don't want to get looted, bubble. Simple. Lower healing costs. Don't limit resources. This move seems like a final transition to changing from war game to Farmville. You know what? I highly agree with her. Well, maybe it's a her or it's a him. Don't know. Him or her. Him, his, him, her, whatever gender it is that we're using now. But I agree. So go and take a look into this, because there's a lot of really great information that people are saying here. Like I said, they're just passionate. They like the game. Lilith, these players, they love the game. So take them seriously, because for me, I would love the game to continue to be, vibrant and where we were. So I don't know. Listen to them. They are the heart and soul of this game. Maybe you might consider some minor changes or minor adjustment through this update. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to, limit people spending into the game. And, no matter how mad they are, at the end of the day, I kind of think about this again before we finish the video. It's like, kind of looked into it again, like, you're still going to get resources per day. It's not like Lit is saying that, hey, you cannot get resources at all. So you can still do it. You might just have to stagger it in a few days, in a week, or in a month. So there's still stuff to get away with. It's not the end of the day. It's just going to be more tedious. The one thing that sucks, though, if you're in a big war and you need resources a lot, because for big fighters, for many fighters, they need resources a lot, and depending on the capacity, like let's say for me, like I have a lot of resources right now. When I get to war, it's gonna the gold, especially the gold is the biggest thing. Really, the gold is the one that is going to drain a player out, for those players that are playing T5. Now, I guess the question now is that will this update limit some of the fighting, or would it still remains the same? At the end of the day, I may not like the update, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is that we have to deal with at this moment. I don't particularly like the update. Like I said, resource assistance is a huge thing. It's part of the game. It's part of the culture. It's always been there. Why now after 3 years? With that being said, my friends, rockers, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Be honest with what you guys got to say, and just say anything that you want. I'll see you again next time. I'll read them.